Nice.
Yo.
I'm going to be gone the next 2 weeks because I'm going to Gamescom.
Yeah.
Enjoy Germany in the area.
You
Yep,
leave
I'm excited.
tomorrow? Is it?
I leave Sunday,
Okay. Okay, that's
so I
good.
got a couple days.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll be on the show for the next couple weeks.
Nice.
What have you guys been up to this last week?
Surviving.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same.
I'm planning to be a big brave boy and see the new Alien movie tomorrow.
I just got an ad for it as I loaded up the
Okay.
chat.
Um,
Are they selling that big stupid popcorn bucket here in Canada? Oh, I guess you wouldn't know that.
I don't
want
know.
to see.
Do
if
you guys ever
someone-
get the popcorn buckets? I think that
Did we
isn't
get
that
the
like an
Dune
AM.
bucket?
I don't know. I don't go to
Isn't
the
that an
theater.
AMC theater thing?
It
Just
usually is.
American?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see why you would get it.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada most usually doesn't get like the cool stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
At least we get healthcare. Thank God.
You get free healthcare,
Thank God.
which honestly is kind of like
It's
like,
honestly
trumps
kind of the
everything, so.
coolest thing when you become old.
That is true. Or just any time, like you can use healthcare at any point.
Yeah, but you don't think
That's the
about
beauty
when
of it.
you're a kid. You don't think
It's true
about
because you're
that shit.
invincible. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Anyway, I brought up the alien thing because I haven't seen Aliens. And
Okay.
I was reading that you should see Alien and Aliens before the new one.
You've seen Alien, at least.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Documented on this podcast. So after this, I'm gonna watch Aliens.
I think you'll like it. That one.
It's got a different energy than the first one.
Way different.
Yeah, I understand it's not scary. Like
it's not
actually,
at all. Not at all.
It's
scary.
more, yeah, it's much more action.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new one looks like a scary movie, so I'm not particularly excited about that.
Sure.
But
that's fair.
You know, gonna do that anyways. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, but more importantly, this completely left my mind until this moment. I was like, what did I see last weekend? I saw Borderlands.
Oh, how was this?
That was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah. Like everybody has actually said this same thing.
Like I was shocked. And I went in there with very low expectations and I was still surprised how bad that movie is. It looks terrible. Like the CG is really bad. So many of the people are just against like a green screen and it's super obvious. Then there's this one aspect where it seems like most of the sets, like I don't know if they just like finished them like really last minute and kind of had to like put them together really quick before they were filming, but everything kind of looks like it was just like placed there as opposed to like being actually like in the environment. So let me give you an example. You're in like a junkyard and there's a bunch of just kind of random junk on the ground and it's all like clean. Like it's not like half buried or it's been kicked around and it's dirty. It's just looks like they just like dumped some junk on the ground and was like, this looks like it's been here for 1,000 years, right? No, it looks like it's been there for 20 seconds and then you started shooting. And that's in so many of the scenes. So that was weird. I don't get what was going on with that. I also don't think Borderlands fans would enjoy this.
Yeah.
And I say that because like I've played every Borderlands, you know, and it's kind of like a time to mute. How long can I get into this game before I have to mute it? And you know, which obviously improves the experience. But there are people out there who like the lore. We call them red flags, and they play it with the sound on the entire time. I don't get it. I don't get it. But they've so those people, I don't think they would like this either. For example, Tiny Tina's in this, and to my benefit, she doesn't scream every single line right in your face.
Okay, that's
but I'm
good.
assuming the Borderlands weirdos out there are sad that she's not doing that.
Yeah. Sure.
So like why even put her in there?
Like, I have heard that like it is weirdly disappointing if you give a shit at all about Borderlands stuff because everybody that was involved just doesn't understand what Borderlands even is. So
you can remove Claptrap from every conversation and I don't think anything would actually change.
How's Jack
Like,
Black?
nonsense.
That's the same as the games.
Yeah,
True.
well,
That's the most accurate thing to the games by the sounds of it.
True.
yeah. Can't you play as him in one of them? Isn't he a character? I think
Pre-sequel.
maybe. Yeah, the pre-sequel is what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Yeah. I must have not chosen him. Big surprise. As per usual, like, nonsense is going around, and then Claptrap it'll just cut to him, and he'll just be like, balls, and he'll
Yeah.
kind of wheel around a bit, and then it'll go back to the action. It's like, great. I'm glad that's there. Thanks.
Sure. Well,
Yeah,
it's true to the brand, I guess.
It's such a movie about convenience where they're just like, oh crap, we really need to figure out how to get over there. Oh, we are over there. Oh man, we got to find these 3 MacGuffins. Oh wait, here's 2 of them. Oh, here's the 3rd one. We're good. Like, what is so
Sounds like it has
bad?
garbage pacing too, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much like, I have an app on my phone. It's called After Credits. It tells you if there's a mid credit scene or an after credit scene.
Okay.
I load it up every time I finish a movie. This was like the first time in years
You just
where
left.
I just got up and left. I could not give enough of a shit to be like, they're like a fun cliffhanger thing. No, I do not care. Like, holy shit, I do not care.
Out of curiosity, do you know, is there like an after credits thing?
I actually don't. I mean,
Okay.
you could Google it. I don't know.
No, I don't care. I was just wondering if
that's
like
the thing,
you
it's
did
just like-
eventually.
Like, there's nothing that they could have done where it would have been like, oh man, Borderlands 2, here we go. Like, it is that foul of a movie. Yeah.
Was there anything
not.
redeeming about it? Like, really dig. I'll take that as a no.
I don't think so. Like, you know what it reminded me a lot of?
Uh-huh.
It reminded me a lot of the first Suicide Squad movie, where it's like, oh, look at this ensemble cast of characters. I don't like a single one of you.
Yeah, that movie.
I mean, I guess that one has Harley Quinn, so she's okay. But it's like, can you name another character that didn't make it to the Suicide Squad that was in that movie?
Deadshot.
He was in the Suicide Squad, wasn't he?
No.
Oh, like the main ones that they follow?
Yeah, the Suicide Squad. Is he not in the other one?
If he is, he's not played by Will Smith.
Yeah. Oh no, it's because it's Idris Elba who plays someone similar, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a very similar character, but it's not Deadshot. I forget what his name is.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Oh, I thought someone was saying that there was an after credit scene, but I think they're joking around. Yeah, every single character in this, it's like, man, you are a great actor. What are you doing here? Like, I guess they're just getting a paycheck, and like, I can't blame them for just getting that bag. But yeah, they'll throw in like, some like fan favorites, like Moxie's here. She's not doing anything really.
Oh,
also,
okay.
like, the Psycho is there, and it's like, what is the point of you at all? Like, you can barely talk. So you not only do you have Claptrap, who's just every now and then just saying like, balls, right? Like, now you have the Psycho as well, who's not plot relevant in any way, and he'll just like interject with like, meat stick.
Okay.
And then, of course, that's what Tina does, is she just shouts like, I'm gonna blow off your balls. It's just constant like dumbass one-lines that have nothing to do with anything getting thrown in your face.
So
It really does sound like you're describing Borderlands.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, that's.
I have kind of like
Which is
a follow-up question for you then. What is like the thing driving the plot? Like, is it just that they're going to a vault? Like, is that all it is?
Yeah, it's pretty close to like the first game where you're just like vault hunting.
Looking for treasure, basically.
Yeah, they do have some. They put some more stuff in there, which I won't spoil just because there's no need for me to spoil it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
The main thing is we need to open the big vault.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
it's rough. Holy smokes, it's so bad. But there you go. There's my impression of Borderlands.
I was gonna say that's a bummer, but like I saw that first trailer and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know anyone who was really excited for this. Like, it felt like it was in
neither.
development for so long, and then it's just like when was the last? When did Borderlands 3 come out?
Oh, Randy Pitchford, he was very excited for this. That's the one. That's the
cheating.
dude.
That's cheating.
That's the
I
dude.
did see him tweet something like, Oh, you guys like our Borderlands more than the one these big Hollywood execs made? Thank you so much. It's like,
Dude,
okay.
he has been coping so fucking hard. It's hilarious.
And it sounds
Yeah,
like, thankfully, it's doing really bad at the box office, so we shouldn't be
thankfully.
getting another one of these. Because that's the thing with the games is like,
Uh-huh.
the writing in the games is terrible, but they sell a ton. So we're going to be
Yeah.
getting Borderlands Till We Die in video game form, and that's fine. I can mute that and still enjoy, the guns. Here's another crazy thing about the movie. When things get killed, they don't just pop up with guns, which is like bullet number one. What is Borderlands? When you shoot stuff, just like a weird gun comes out. That's Borderlands, right?
Sure.
There's nothing about that.
Were the guns at least like interesting, like
No,
shooting
no.
like
There is
bullets?
nothing about
Okay.
like it being a gun loot thing at all, which is insane to me because that would be the easiest joke. Is if they just had wacky guns popping out of all these like dudes that they're shooting throughout the whole time. That's such an easy joke, and they just didn't do that.
Are there elemental weapons, like anything like that?
No.
Does a siren do
Guns
anything?
are just guns in this. They're just
Is
guns.
there powers at all? Magic or whatever?
I will say yes at the end because it is kind of a spoiler when the powers come in. But for 90% of the movie, no, there aren't powers.
It's the Deus Ex Machina device that does like a thing at the end, huh?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I will see this at some point when it is available to download for free online.
Technically, it is already. You just need to know where to go.
I guess for like a cam version, you mean, or something. That might be the way to view it. Honestly, that might be more interesting.
I don't even like. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna see it because out of curiosity.
Of course,
you're
I
on a
am.
video game podcast.
Yeah, no, of
So,
course I'll
it's
see it at
almost
some
like
point.
at some point you kind of have to.
Mhm.
But like if you're like a normal person, which you're not, you're listening to a video game podcast.
Yeah.
I can't even say it's like it's worth the like 2 hours. Like,
Yeah.
I turned to like my friends who they play the games unmuted, and I was like, "This is so fucking terrible," and even they were like, "Yeah, this is rough."
Oh no. All right. Well. Great.
They do. I won't say too much of this one. They do a scene where one of the characters is going to sacrifice themselves so that the rest of them can escape.
Sure.
And in your head, you're like, well, there's no way this person's actually going to die. I'm sure they'll come back, close to the end. We'll see them later on. They'll save the day at the end, or maybe we'll get like their hand popping up or something. It'll be like they're alive. The next scene, they're alive.
Yep.
And they make a big deal of like, all right, we're going down with the ship. I'm going to save all my friends. Next scene, they're like, whew, all right, guys, let's keep going. And it was like, what? Okay, yeah, I don't know, man. Fuck that movie.
Bummer.
It also reminded me that second Tales of the Borderlands game sucks.
Yeah, I remember you being pretty mad about that. Specifically.
Because those ones you can't mute. The whole point is
Yeah.
Let's do the writing, and then they tricked you because the first one is the best written Borderlands thing of all time.
Yeah. No good, man.
So so that's just rude. Like that's actually offensive at that point. Anyway, this is the Top Down Perspective where we talk about video games and bad video game movies. It is August 15th, and I'm Sean Booker. I'm angry now. Got myself worked up.
He's so mad now. He's so mad.
Yep.
So
I hadn't thought about this movie for like a solid 5 days.
I'm sorry we forced you to think about it.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not sorry.
Anyway, that was John Wheeler.
Hi. I didn't hear Paul. I didn't hear Paul say his name, so I was waiting.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
At some point.
I interrupted. I'm gonna stop interrupting because I want to know what Time is Honey is.
Time is Honey is this idle clicker game I've gotten unusually invested in. Well, I say unusually, but I love idle clickers, so I can't say too much. Sure. You're raising a farm of bees. You basically you have like a little beehive, and you build up honey so you can buy booster cards of bees. and they're all different bee types, like like a regular honey bee, then you got like a watermelon bee, polar
real bee?
bear bee, like all
Okay,
these
they're
other
not
weird
real.
theme ones.
This is cute
No,
as fuck. Holy shit.
it's super cute. There's currently how many different biomes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are currently 8 biomes, and basically they all get like super expensive to buy. So that's the whole thing, is you have to like put the money in, leveling up your bees, and then you can just turn off the game, come back up to 12 hours later, and you'll get like the maximum amount of honey they made. They'll get experience while you're offline, so they'll be stronger next time. And just spend the money, buy new hives, and try to unlock bees. Because there's so many bee types per biome, they want you to keep building the same biomes and like going through the booster packs, because there's like an encyclopedia, or I think they call it like a bee encyclopedia.
Sure. Yeah.
There
Uh,
we go.
There it is.
yeah,
Yep.
and you have to like try to unlock everything. There's like different tiers of rarity. Like there's common, uncommon, rare, legendary, and then apparently there's like gold variants of every one too. But that has like a 0.5% chance of happening, and it has not happened to me at all yet. So,
Is it also a clicker?
you can click it if you want. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a clicker that conveniently has an option where you can just hit the space bar and it does the clicking for you. But like it
Ooh.
follows your mouse movement. So like the bees will all go around, try to grab food from wherever like your cursor is currently, even if you're not even in that window. Like I've got my window in Discord right now, and they're still following my movements in the game.
Nice.
As a clicker fan, have you been turned on to click holding?
Yeah.
I keep hearing about it. I think I even
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah. Click holding. Oh yeah. Click it better. Yeah. No,
So
I need to play through that thing. Apparently it's very short too.
Yeah, it's like an hour, I think.
Yeah.
I did pick it up because I was put on the Steam Deck. I haven't played it yet, but you reminded me of it because you were talking about clickers, and I was
Clicking.
like,
Yeah.
people are talking about this one, so maybe this is something you should focus on, John.
All right, I'll look into it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I have it. I'll just go
Those who don't know what click holding is, yes, it's what it sounds like. There's a creepy dude in a dark hotel room, and you
Just
have to
watching
click
you
to,
click. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wants you to click because it gives him pleasure,
Yeah.
and you do that.
I do have it.
Yeah.
The banner for it's just fucked up.
It's so good. The way the L and I look like the U
Yep.
is so perfect.
This is click holding is Strange Scaffold.
Yeah.
Who is just somehow the like fastest game developer on the planet. Like they put out a game every 3 months or something. I don't know how. It seems insane. I mean, click holding is a pretty small, but one before that, the Max Payne one, that's a pretty sizable game, and they already have another like 1 or 2 in development.
Also, Elsewhere and Nightmare, which is like the first-person version, I think, of Elsewhere. That came before it, something like that. Yeah, and then the one, aren't they doing I'm Your Beast or whatever? I Am Your Beast. Is that them? Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it.
It's crazy.
Good for them though.
Yep.
All right, that's Time is Honey.
Yep, that's all I got, and I haven't played anything else. I unlocked a dog bee just then.
Ooh. Okay.
What do you think the odds are that there's a bee that is a reference to the Bee Movie?
Wouldn't that just be a honeybee?
Well, they'd probably put Jerry or Seinfeld somewhere in the name, right?
They might have. I don't know. Like I said, I got 4 other biomes I got to unlock yet. So
that's what I would do. There's a free idea for the developers who are obviously listening. Paul, what are you playing?
So in between stuff that I want to look at, I've been asking some buddies just like to recommend smaller games or whatever to me. That's kind of why this started with Dominique's Curse, because I was asked like what should I play, and they said that. So that I finished that, by the way. I got all 3 endings. It's okay. By the end there, I was pretty tired of it, but you get enough movement stuff that it's pretty fun, so it was fine. But then the next game was Kitsune Tails, which came out 2 weeks ago now, and that
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's Super Mario Bros. 3 basically, with voice acting and lesbian foxes as the main characters.
I've heard it's actually kind of difficult.
Parts of it are definitely pretty difficult. it does the kind of like 2 playthrough thing, where you play as one character then another character. The first character you play as, I was definitely kind of done with it, just being like, this is like competent, but I just don't care at all. That second character though, that second character is fun as shit because it's all about actual platforming and movement stuff. Like the second character has a melee attack, first of all, which the first character doesn't. You just Mario over shit, and you have different power ups or whatever to change what you can do. Very Mario like. The next character, the second character, has a melee attack, and that also refreshes her jump, and she has like a dash and stuff that's all based around you killing shit and moving around the screen. So
it's the messenger.
It's the messenger, yes. And the messenger is great, basically.
Messenger rocks.
Yeah, it's so good.
What's that game that they're currently working on that's in the Messenger universe?
Not Sea of Stars.
Or was it Sea of Stars?
Sea of Stars has been out for like a year. That was the other one in the Messenger universe.
Oh, okay. Do they have an upcoming game?
Sea of Stars has only been out for like what, a year?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe 2 at most.
I'm pretty sure it was last year.
Yeah,
I think it was last year.
I think it was.
I'm just seeing if they have anything on their website.
I basically told like, yes, absolutely, Sea of Stars is connected to Messenger.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. Yeah, I did not know this. That team is in Quebec City.
Yeah, they're Canadian.
Hooray!
Yeah. Anyways, if you like Super Mario Bros. 3, Kitsune Tails might be worth checking out. Pretty cool. Pretty short too. I think I played through both playthroughs in about 5 to 6 hours, and it unlocked kind of like a special Kaizo world type thing at like as a after game thing that I haven't done yet because honestly I got kind of sick of that game by that point where it's just like it's fun but like I don't know, I was just done with it. It plays pretty similar to SMB3, which if you haven't played that game in a while has a feel to it that I just got sick of real quick after 6 hours. I will probably go back to it at some point though. So that was kind of like the big new one, and then the next one that was recommended that I should play is there was a fan hack of Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins. It's called DX, and it basically just colorized the Game Boy version, added a few fixes and stuff. So I played through that just last night, actually.
Surprised you hadn't played that before.
That game is still great. Like there, that hack adds Luigi, which felt a little bit different, and I was having kind of a rough time. I even kept saying just like, what the fuck? Like, did this always control so weird? The answer is no, because you can switch to Mario on the fly. I found out later, and Mario plays totally fine. So, but yeah, I mean, still one of the best Mario games by far. Just really, really fun, really inventive. I forgot some of those worlds, like Mario Land, the Mario Zone or whatever, just dumb shit. It's fun time.
Pumpkin Zone.
Pumpkin Zone's always been my favorite because I've always liked horror stuff, and that just basically has Jason heads walking around, Jason Goombas or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So your yearly reminder to go back and visit that, I guess. But anyways, now that that's done, I figured I would ask on air, John, what is a game I should play from that is about a 5 to 10 hour experience?
5 to 10 hour experience.
One that you would recommend.
Are you looking for a specific system or
anything?
It can you already played through Astalon, right? Did you play through Astalon?
Yeah, that was like a year or two ago, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Mega Man Legends.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So that'll be the next thing I do then. Mega Man Legends.
Have you played through that one before?
Not through it. I've played a few hours of it before.
Okay.
Yeah. That is also Mega Man 64, right? Like 64 Legends.
Higher quality on PS1, and it has a couple more features.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Sounds good. I played a little bit of Puppeteer from 2013. You guys remember that?
Okay.
Played that game?
Yeah.
That game is awesome.
Not the Kinect game, right? gonna
No,
say that's a no
that's
based on that reaction.
Gunstringer that you're thinking of.
Yeah, Gunstringer. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. No, Puppeteer is a weird. It was a 3D game platformer. It was just a cool looking game. Cool game. I think people should check that out. That's on a PS Now, PS Plus, streaming, whatever it's called. That's why I was playing it. But yeah, still a cool game. That's all I've been doing.
I played through Ghost Trick. I finished up my Ghost Trick Remastered playthrough. I just
Nice.
needed more of the Ace Attorney team doing a visual novel after wrapping up Great Ace Attorney.
Did it still hold up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do think it's better on the DS, just from like a control standpoint, because sometimes some of the like cores that you're trying to jump to will be kind of close together, and so you're using just an analog stick, and the thing moves kind of fast. So I'd say like 90% of the time it's pretty obvious where you're going to, but when they get close together, it's like, no, I wanted the other one. You have to kind of like back out and try and like come around it counterclockwise or something. Whereas with the DS, you could just use the stylus and it wasn't an issue. And that was good because I'd forgotten most of the like small beats. Just kind of remembering like, okay, I know the big twist at the end, and I remember there's something special about like this character, but that's about it. So there was a bunch of people in there. I was like, I don't remember you at all. So that was good. Still one of the best games on the DS. Just what an absolute treasure of a game that is. And then continuing, and I needed to replace that with another visual novel, so I started up 1,000 Times Resist. I'm only like an hour and a half in, so still chapter 1. This is a weird game. I don't really know what's going on yet, but I have heard it kind of takes a bit to get going. And there's this like weird mechanic where I don't know. I don't even know if you're like in. Are you in like a memory? Are you in someone specific's memory? But you're like warping to these little like nodes. I guess kind of like Ghost Trick, but if it was like a 3D environment, just to get to like the end of it. It seems kind of like weird padding. I don't know. I'm not quite feeling it at the moment, but I have heard it takes a bit to get going, and then everyone seems to like really be into this game. So that's what I'm playing before bed right now. But mostly just trying to wrap up Kunitsugami, which I think I only have a few stages left on that. I want to get that done before I take off and just play a bunch of stuff on the Steam Deck while I'm in the plane.
Sure. That game's
But
fun, but I kind of bounced off it like a little bit. Kunitsugami, just because it's so similar, like what you're doing over and over, basically. But I've been kind of poking at it every couple days or whatever.
Okay. See, I would disagree. I think each stage they kind of add a new mechanic.
Not enough. It's still too similar every time. Mainly because some of those stages become very long. At some point, they get longer.
They do, yeah, they do get kind of long. I'm usually kind of sitting down playing a stage and then the boss fight right after it, and then that's it for the day.
Yeah, exactly. I just haven't gone.
Then I go
back
do my
to
base
it
stuff, and then I save my game and I do something else. So
yeah, that fucking base stuff in between, just like this weird almost mobile game aspect of you going in and like clicking the thing to make sure people are working while you're out.
Yep.
Pretty fun.
That's a cool game. It is such a weird little. It's a cool game for sure.
It is. Yeah.
I'm still quite enjoying it, and I still if you have Game Pass, you should try it because there's nothing quite like it. So
true. Yeah.
All right, let's do some news. We get to do some fun, happy news in the games industry for once. News that kind of absolutely shocked me. Like, I don't know if this has happened before. Tango Gameworks, you remember a month and a half ago, was shut down by Microsoft, despite them saying, we love these guys. Hi-Fi Rush hit all expectations. You're laid off. The end. And it made no sense. That the studio has been taken over and revived by Krafton, who also kind of an odd company. Krafton is the PUBG publisher that kind of like formed out of PUBG. Like they weren't around until after PUBG got massive and then formed like another company above it. They also published the Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
So they do have some games under their belt. they have revived this studio and somehow worked with Microsoft to obtain the Hi-Fi Rush IP.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
None of the other IPs, so don't expect a Ghostwire Tokyo 2. Don't expect an Evil Within 3. Like, they didn't purchase, I mean, those are still for Microsoft. But somehow they were able to negotiate Hi-Fi Rush specifically and basically said we are going to continue that universe. So there's obviously going to be a Hi-Fi Rush 2. And then there was some more reporting today that only about 50, which is a half of the Tango Gameworks staff, were picked up to join this new team under Crafton. It sounds like the other 50 had already moved on and gotten jobs at this point.
Sure.
So they were trying to get as many as they could, and they got half of them. But even the studio lead, which it's not the original guy, he obviously left, but it was the creative director on Hi-Fi Rush, became the new studio lead. He's a part of this. He was out there tweeting like, "We're back." Yeah, what do you guys think? This is pretty wild, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's really good.
Yeah, I can't think of many studios that got shut down and then got brought back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't think of any.
I'm sure there's something EA bought that got shut down and brought back at some point, but it was still through EA.
Yeah.
I'm also surprised Microsoft like gave up the IP. Like, I
Yeah.
can't imagine Crafton like purchased it for an amount of money that Microsoft would even really care about. Microsoft has so much money. So Microsoft, like, they weren't trying to like recoup any kind of cost here. Why wouldn't they just sit on this IP and do something with it later if they wanted to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Seems weird to me. I'm happy that it's back. It's unfortunate that they couldn't get the full crew back, but you know, it's a happy thing overall.
Yeah, and we don't get a lot of that in the games industry right now, so it's a small shining light that we can focus on.
Yeah.
Good for those guys. I'll play a Hi-Fi Rush too. Absolutely. Why
Yeah, of
not?
course. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, for what it's worth, they don't need to do another Evil Within or Ghostwire Tokyo, and I'm an apologist for those games. So
That's what I was gonna say. I thought you, out of the three of us here, would be like bummed about that fact.
Because the problem is that Ghostwire Tokyo lost Mikami and oh my god, what was the chick's name? The bubbly one. It had kind of like a troubled development.
The popular one on the internet.
There was no real good like lead on that. And then with Mikami gone, who gives a shit about Evil Within? That was like his thing, and that's why people cared at all. And even when with him helming it, it was at the helm, it was kind of meh. So like, yeah, I don't care at all.
I was okay with Ghostwire Tokyo. That game has some like weird stuff going on that kind of that I found redeeming. Like, I bet a second one would have been cool, but I guess I don't need a second one.
Sure.
But I feel like I like that game more than most people. So
sure.
Great. Deadlock. All you seem pretty familiar with this. What's going on with Deadlock?
Oh, it's a game.
Good summary.
I just got the invite.
You just got it.
I just got I got it 3 minutes ago.
I guess like
invited to play the.
On that note, if you're listening to this and I have you on my friends list, you probably have an invite because I just send it to literally everybody who would allow me to on my friends list. So look for that.
For those who don't know what Deadlock is, it's a new game from Valve, which that on its own is like a big deal.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Valve doesn't put out a lot of games, and when they do, they're usually a pretty big deal. And just from the nature of the secrecy nature around that studio, makes it a bigger deal than you would think.
Yeah.
I guess so I know a bit of this story. I guess it's been in a beta for a while now. Like, people have been playing it. But then the kind of news story that like kind of went big this week is that a writer over at The Verge, I guess, so there's no NDA, but they were like, don't talk about the game right yet. And they just decided not to approve the NDA and then talked about the game, and that made a fuss.
Yeah. So
but it's also kind of funny.
This.
Like, let me just read this little
Go
sub.
ahead.
So when you load the game, a pop-up comes up that says like early development build. Deadlock is still early in development with a lot of temporary art and experimental gameplay. Do not share anything about the game with anyone. And then your only option is to click OK. So they have a picture of that in this article and with some subtext underneath it that reads, "This message does pop up when I launch Deadlock, but I didn't click OK. Instead, I hit the escape key and watched it disappear."
Yes.
So, like, technically, and he says it in the article here, "I'm not under NDA. I've signed no contracts and made no verbal agreement. I haven't even clicked through a EULA. So he's safe."
I mean, he's a fucking piece of shit, though, is the thing. Like,
And
yes.
he's been banned from the game, I believe, unless they took that back.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the thing is that, yeah, there's no legal trouble coming his way. But, like, newsflash, if you sign an NDA, you can still break it. You'll just have consequences. Like, I don't know. It's this weird gleeful, like, they don't want me to do this, but I'm doing it anyways because you can't, like, fuck off. Who gives a shit?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think from like a journalist
I fucking hate this guy.
like,
I hate him.
It kind of comes down to like, I mean, yes, you could do this. You're going to burn a bridge.
Yeah.
So it's like it's your call.
I think it's.
But then there's also the question.
I think
of,
it's the glee that he has. It's like, I'm not under it. Like, shut the fuck up, idiot. God, I hate this fucking guy.
From like also from like a news reporting perspective, like there's no need for this game to be that like secret. Like the games industry is like weirdly secret about everything going on.
Especially because I just sent an invite to like literally 40 people before we started this podcast.
Yeah, that's the thing I didn't quite understand. Like when this news first broke, it was like, oh hey, Valve's making a new game, but all these articles were like, so this has actually been in development in beta, and you even see in this article, nearly 20,000 people are playing the game, and I'm like, where the hell did this game come from? What? This is the first I have heard of this. What is going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you played it, Paul? What's the deal with Deadlock?
I only took a look at the tutorial stuff right before we started. So this is a like 3 or 4 lane MOBA that's in first person, and you play like hero shooter characters while that's going on.
Wait, are you sure it's first person? This like video I'm watching. Again, there's video of this game out. So I don't understand what the big deal is. Anyway, it's third person.
Third person, yeah. So it's a hero shooter, but there are creeps that go down lanes that you have to push to kill the enemy's like core or whatever it's called in this.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't really know who this is for, but like I'm sure it seems like it might be fun. I'm gonna jump into a few games probably when we're done here and see what that's all about. But I won't be able to talk about it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I just hit the escape button and you can talk about it. Like, you didn't sign anything.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
How many people are streaming this game on Twitch right now, I wonder?
Honestly, not as many as you'd think. I looked that up before we went live. I think it was 10 maybe when I saw. The biggest stream had like 100 and some people in it.
I got a 23 right now. Yeah, biggest one I'm seeing is 23. 162 people looking at the Deadlock topic.
Well, it's weird because I don't think anybody is watching it because everybody has access to this thing, it feels like. Like, I got access to it from some dude that I haven't talked to in about 4 years. So, whatever. Like, they're just going around.
Yeah, it's like this weird, like, hey, everyone knows the secret, but don't say the secret.
And sometimes it's fun to keep the not so secret.
Yeah. There is this weird, like, this game is still in development with temporary art. It's like, this shit leaked, like, 2 months ago. Like, people have already seen videos of this. Weird.
Yeah, I'm just saying the video in here. How old is that? Oh, no, this video is only 3 days ago. Oh, it's also from the guy who wrote the article.
From this guy. Yeah. But there was Twitter videos of, like, I'm guessing in their friends and family, like, closed stuff that they did. Somebody leaked it back then.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I've seen footage of this, and I just kind of really didn't care then. But now that I'm able to go and try it out, I'll probably try it out. We'll see how it is.
I like hero shooters. I'll probably try it out. And, Valve, when they put out games, they usually hit pretty hard.
Yeah, unless it's Artifact. Then it dies.
Unless it's Artifact.
Yeah, Artifact was Yeah, unfortunate.
I forgot they even made that. I thought that was someone else.
Yeah.
They also did Hearthstone, so like they're good. Like they don't need to have 2 card games going.
They did not do Hearthstone.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
That's
Blizzard.
Blizzard.
You're right. They did not. You're right. I don't know why I was thinking they did Hearthstone.
The best thing about Artifact was that's where people played the Avengers movies on Twitch. Because nobody ever checked it.
Uh,
Moral of the story, though, is Hearthstone is a good game.
that sounds like the takeaway from
The last time I
Deadlock.
played it, yeah, it's been a while, but I'm sure it's still.
It's been a while. Yeah,
That Battlegrounds mode is very fun in that.
I don't think I've played that.
You should try it. It's good.
Okay, Steam is updating their user reviews. They are now going to be prioritizing informative reviews and deprioritizing reviews that they claim are unhelpful, such as one-word reviews, reviews comprised of ASCII art, or reviews that are primarily playful memes and in-jokes.
Almost like what they should have done from the very fucking beginning. Who knew?
Yeah,
Weird.
This seems
Yeah.
like a good idea for sure.
Weird.
You will have the option to go into your Steam settings and turn this off if you do want one-word reviews to still be prioritized
At
for
least
you.
options there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of do because I'm like us here talking and people listening right now. We probably have an idea of what we're getting into, so I like the reviews for the lulls myself.
Okay.
But yeah, they're unhelpful as hell.
Yeah, that's the thing. So there you go. And again, they will still be there. They're just going to get like pushed down. So it's not like they're
Oh,
going
yeah.
away if you have this turned on. I think it'll get turned on by default, so you will have to like opt out of it. Just ahead.
Yeah, that's probably the right way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, some tiny little bit of news about the Switch 2. Eurogamer, as well as I think it was GamesIndustry.biz, have basically been talking to some developers, and Nintendo has told them. Let me see if I can find the quote. No developer I've spoken to expects it to launch in this financial year. In fact, they've been told not to expect it in this financial year. So the earliest we could possibly get a release of the Switch 2 would be April. That doesn't mean they can't announce it in the fiscal year. In fact,
Yeah.
Nintendo came out and said they are going to announce it in the fiscal year. But just don't expect like it to get announced and then out like a couple months later, unless it crosses into obviously the second fiscal year.
Yeah.
All right, another quick one. Dragon Age Veilguard is coming out August 31st.
Right. I did see
Halloween. Hell yeah, let's go.
Yep.
And while we're talking about release dates, Plucky Squire, which I know a few of us are excited about, got a release date of September 17th, and it'll be on, I think, PlayStation Plus day one.
Oh,
so if you
sick.
subscribe to that, yeah, Plucky Squire. September is packed. Like, holy smoke, September is packed.
Yeah, I think it starts with Space Marine 2 on the 9th for me.
It's not Astrobot on the 6th?
Oh, right. Astro Bot.
I think that's
Your
just me. I
priorities
think it's just
set.
me and you, dude.
I think there was something else on Astrobot's day as well that I was excited about. Not right now. Just search like games coming out on September 6th.
Specifically.
Yeah, is that will that do anything?
It might.
Oh, thanks Google. Starfield will be launching on September 6th, 2023.
Good for Starfield.
Oh, thank
That's obviously
God.
what I'm trying to find out. Thank you.
I think if you go to Wikipedia and look at the games released in 2024, anything that has a solid date should be listed there correctly.
And I'm just looking at this. The GameSpot has like a list.
Obviously,
of
it's
they're not
Harry
mentioning
Potter
another...
Quidditch Champions
Yeah,
on September
it's not
3rd.
That. It's not.
No,
that's
Ace
not what
Attorney Investigations Collection. That's the same
Oh,
day.
that's what I was probably focusing on, which is weird that it's not in this list on GameSpot. So.
Trying to see what else.
And Zelda's at the end of the month.
The casting of Frank
Man.
Stone, I'm gonna check out because I love Supermassive.
You got Dead Rising.
That's a
DRDR.
little bit later, right?
Dead Rising is the 18th.
Digital is
8th.
digital September and the physical's November. I think the physical's on my birthday.
Oh, hey,
Oh,
there you
Demon
go.
School. I'm excited for Demon School. Oh, Funko Fusion,
There you
game of the
go.
year.
Oh yeah, Demon School. That was a huge one for me actually. Shit, I forgot about that.
There's a lot coming in September.
Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. Hell yeah. Frostpunk 2. This is
All right.
disgusting.
Last news story here. Amazon's or Amazon MGM's Madden movie will now star Nicolas Cage.
Okay, I didn't know there was a Madden movie, and now that I know Nick Cage is in it, I'm actually very excited about a Madden movie.
Yeah, I'm in. Let's go.
This is like tangentially related to us, but they're gonna have to talk about the games, right?
I assume. Like I assume it's actually gonna be about the life of John Madden.
It is, yeah.
But there's
what it
gonna be
sounds
some
like.
connection to the games.
Which yeah, a big part of it was his like major role in the video games, and yeah, obviously we're all Nick Cage fans, so Nick Cage's Madden, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to him just like screaming about football.
Sure. Yeah.
Did this mention when this movie is like slated to what it's aiming for? No, not really. I can't remember if this was announced earlier too. I don't quite remember a Madden movie getting announced, but it also doesn't seem too new to me, so who knows? Anyway, that's news. Let's do some questions. If you want to send in a question, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's PO Box are all great ways to send in questions. And you could sound just like Kevin, who writes, hypothetically, if Nintendo were to sell all their games on PC as well as console, but the PC version's price is marked up to $100, would it be well received since it's better than nothing?
No.
No.
It wouldn't be. I'll tell you what would
Absolutely not.
happen is that they would be on Juarez.org or whatever the fuck you could download free games from, and that's how that people would get that. That's how
that's
would
already
happen.
happening.
That's already happening, but like if it's already on PC, one person would rip it, and it would just be everywhere for everyone else for free. At $100, there's no way.
No,
Yeah,
the market will actually be like, yo, stop that. No, get out of here.
I think because no one else is doing that, it would just be looked at in such bad faith
Yeah.
that's why they would get hounded. I'm curious though, like, is any part of you, would you be like, oh, thank God it's on PC? Like, I will pay a premium to play a good running version of this game?
No, because I don't trust that Nintendo would make it good running still. I think it would run the same.
Well, this is totally hypothetical. Obviously, it would run better than on a Switch, right?
I don't necessarily know that for sure. But hold on. There is a community that would actually fix it on PC. So it would probably eventually.
Are you saying that they're going to become Bethesda?
I kind of feel like Nintendo would be maybe a little Bethesda, like, yeah, where they would put something out and then the community would make it amazing in a week.
Well, I mean, when Dread got like ripped on PC and it was running better, that was a big deal.
Yeah, the emulator on the emulator. Yeah.
So I think in this hypothetical, I'll pose this to you guys. If in the hypothetical, it's going to run better, would you pay a premium?
No.
Any premium? Yes. Up to $100? No.
Okay. And John, no, you want the the bad running version on the Switch?
I don't mind the bad running version because I find glitches fun.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Like
also, it would literally let's assume this is the US price for $100.
Yeah.
That's like what, 130 here? Like, I'm cool with saving $50.
I think it's closer to 150. It's like 140 or high 130s.
Yeah, but either way, like it's like a $50-$60 difference between the regular edition, the Switch version, and like the PC one. I'm cool with saving almost enough to buy another copy of the game or like something else.
I'm good with like the $70, like the kind of new price for games, the new premium. Like I'd be okay with paying that on PC for a Nintendo game, easy.
I think for the most part, I wouldn't buy do the premium, but for a few of the first party titles, I think I would. Like
it had to be something I absolutely loved. So,
like I think like what the next Mario, the next like 3 Zelda, I could see myself wanting like the best version of that. But like,
Sure.
I don't know, the next Luigi's Mansion, I'm okay getting the one that like has bad frame rate.
I wonder if there would be like sales more often from resellers, I guess, more than anything at that point. I'm wondering how they would do that, because Nintendo probably would have like a weird closed system still on how you would get their games. Weird DRM or
Well, I mean,
something.
it would like if it's on Steam, the developer still has to like approve the sale, right?
Oh, I'm saying that Nintendo probably wouldn't do it on Steam. They would do their own launcher or
You think they
something.
pull a
Their own
Ubisoft?
launcher.
I think they would do their own thing, yeah. I don't think they would release it on a third party thing. Which honestly, when you're Nintendo, why would you release it on a third party thing if you could have control? Because people would probably jump through hoops to get it. I know I would download a Nintendo launcher. Why not, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't think there's a like I'll download whatever launcher. I don't care. But there are
Yeah,
some
I
people who
agree.
are like, I will never download another launcher. I bleed Steam.
So there are people like that, but I think there'd be less people about when it's Nintendo specifically. Like Epic, some people will never download Epic, and that's fine. But I think more people would be okay with being like, it's Nintendo. I used to play Mario on the Game Boy or whatever. I'll download that. They'd be more okay with it, I think. I really hope this never happens. Suku writes, how do you feel about day-night cycles? Do they add to a game world, or do they bring in too many questions like why that shopkeep is open at 3 a.m.? Should every game have a day-night cycle?
I'm indifferent on it. I think it works for games like Animal Crossing. Adventure games is a little annoying because it's like I just need to save. I need to go to the inn. I just need to like get the shop I need. But like as long as they have some sort of time control,
Yeah,
like Tears of the Kingdom does or like Skyrim does, and it's not that big a deal.
I agree. Or like Majora's Mask or so. Like when you can do interesting stuff with the day-night cycle as well. After coming off Dominique's Curse, that's like the worst way to do a day-night cycle, where there are just sometimes you have to wait until the night is done so that you can continue doing stuff in the town. If you don't have an item to like immediately make it turn from night to day, you just have to literally sit there and wait for 3 minutes. And like that sucks. That's just bad.
I think I'm of two minds. I think it's fun in Animal Crossing because it's then they tie things to specific times, and it's more special where you're like, no, I need to stay up until 2 a.m. so I can do the ghost dude or whatever. But then as someone who sometimes they don't have as much time to play games,
Yeah.
you just miss out on stuff. So being able to control it kind of helps, but then it makes it less special. So I don't know if there's like a perfect solution.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm also someone who like when games are like you can go out at night, but the enemies will be way harder. I just never do that.
Oh,
But I guess
sure.
it's good that the option is there if someone wanted to go do that. Um, so and then yeah, if things like close during the night, it's almost like what is the point of this? Who is hanging out at night and not just skipping it?
Yeah.
If there's just like less to do and such.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a good and bad way to do it, just in general, I think.
Ed writes in and says, on last week's show, you mentioned that it was strange that Jedi Survivor was getting a last gen version, and that by now we're starting to see big names like Madden and COD release this year's title only on current gen. Except that's not the case. Both Madden 25 and Black Ops 6 are launching on last gen as well. However, the support of last gen is leading to some unintended side effects, mainly the degradation of previous versions of games. What needs to change for last gen versions of games to not suffer death by degradation?
Stand corrected. Okay. And
Well,
yeah, they
these.
had a bit more context.
Mhm.
If it was basically like some of those games that are getting like a last gen, those ones run worse because they're clearly getting
Yeah.
prioritized for current gen and stuff. So that's it, just if you weren't sure what they meant by the degradation part.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Oh, so they're making these last version games because the install base is still so high, right?
Yeah. I think if you do something a little bit different and use something that works, at least it could be interesting. The thing that I'm kind of thinking of here is Dead Rising on the Wii is the worst version by every metric, except it's basically Resident Evil 4 the way it plays and shoots, and that's kind of interesting because it's in like its own engine that works well on the Wii, so it's like at least a playable version of that thing. It's still like kind of worse just in like the technical aspect, but at least it kind of like does its own thing.
Yeah, I think that's a unique case because it's almost like a different game at that point.
Almost, yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
if we do use Nintendo as an example, often the Nintendo version is just a bad version of that game. Like I think if we're going like a more recent one, Mortal Kombat 1 came out on the
Yeah.
Switch.
That thing is
An
great
awful
though.
version of that game.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
they're obviously the studios know this, but they're like install base is huge. Like there will be people who only have a Switch and they'll just buy the bad one and it doesn't matter because we have their money now.
Yeah, Skyrim and The Witcher, like when the Switch first came out, that was also kind of the thing is like, oh, this looks like way, way worse, but at least it's on that thing, so.
What annoys me though is when I'll be playing a multiplayer game that has crossplay with the old versions,
Oh, yeah.
and those games take longer to load in, so I have to wait longer in like the
Mm,
matchmaking lobby and stuff, or
sure.
before the game can start, because I just it's and because like you'll see like a bunch of people who have loaded in, and then a handful that haven't, and then they'll all come in at once, and it's typically because oh they're probably all on like PS4s, and it took longer for the game to load, and that's annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I miss the days where kind of like Dead Rising Choppy Drop. They made their own like unique game. So like
Totally.
I like when they do like they used to do like the portable version was a different version of the game altogether, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, that doesn't quite solve the issue of like, oh, this is the same as the original game. So like that's on the better system. So I don't know. It's a weird problem, but that's one aspect of things I miss about it.
Yeah.
I think it's almost inevitable though, because like you're by wanting the last version of these games to be like optimized as much as the current gen seems kind of like backward thinking in terms of
Totally.
a studio like trying to survive. Like they need to kind of like keep up with the times, and they can only prioritize so much, and if they're prioritizing last gen it's going to affect how the current gen game looks, and they obviously don't want that. So it almost comes down to like, hey, what did you expect? You're on 8-year-old hardware. Like
Yeah.
at
And
some
as
point you need to like put your money where your mouth is, and like tech moves up. Like we can't support everything forever.
yeah, and I think it's becoming more exacerbated now that like it's essentially we've hit the console singularity where each console is similar hardware and doing the same
Yeah.
thing. Like it's different when you talk about the Xbox 360 Dead Rising and the Wii, because the Wii has a weird different gimmick that it's trying to do. It's not just trying to be another Xbox, it's kind of its own thing. Kind of like another example would be they released Resident Evil 4 again on VR, but because VR is kind of its own different thing, that's a whole new experience, and that's like great or whatever. So if you're gonna release last gen versions of games, the problem is that the last gen is just like the worst version of the current gen these days because they didn't do anything like different enough back then. I
Sure.
think.
Rasterman writes, with this edition of the Olympics ending today, what is your favorite meme or moment coming out of it? For example, the Turkish shooter, the French pole vaulter, the three girls biting their medal, etc.
Definitely French pole vaulter. That was funny as fuck.
French pole vaulter is very funny.
The breakdancer, holy shit, that is the
Breakdancer.
funniest shit I've seen in my life.
Did you see that people are trying to run like a investigation on her now?
Yeah.
I did. Like so the fallout is like I just roll my eyes so hard that my brain explodes, like whatever. The agenda shit. But watching her do that shit just sincerely in front of a bunch of judges is some of the best comedy I've ever seen in my life. So good.
That was very good. Yeah, jokes are very good. People are putting some more stuff in the the chat, the people who had to swim in the polluted river and just started vomiting nonstop.
What? What happened this Olympics?
Oh,
What the
well,
fuck?
so you didn't hear about this one. The river is, it's in Paris. Paris is a pretty dirty city. It's
Sure.
it's massive. The river's constantly like unhealthy. You don't swim in it, and they spent like $1 billion cleaning it up before the Olympics started, and then they got a ton of rain, which just dirtied it up again. Like it just pushed a bunch of sewage back into the river. Um, and they made some like triathlete swimmers, some long distance swimmers swim in the river for the event, and yeah, they just as a result ended up vomiting a ton.
Ugh.
Man, I like the unhinged opening too. That pissed off a lot of people. That was great.
Okay.
The quote unquote Last Supper, which was just like a hedonistic like party or whatever. That was great.
I think if there was any like actual stuff that I just like enjoyed watching. Obviously, the gymnastics was fantastic. I liked watching rock climbing. That was fun.
Okay, interesting.
You'd be excited for esports next year, probably.
You mean in 2 years in LA?
Yeah, in 2 years.
Hear me? Yeah. No.
I mean, breakdancing had some great stuff, so esports just has to be better, right? There has to be a memeable moment or two.
Or no, not two. Wait, which one's it? Where is it in 2 years? Because LA is in 4 years. It's the 2026 Winter Olympics. Where's that?
No idea. I do
Yeah,
not care this much about the Olympics. This is more effort I put into learning about the Olympics than
Totally.
any other year.
Yeah, I'm with John.
And is esports is that a summer sport or a winter sport?
I mean, it's an all-round sport technically.
Yeah. So which
Yeah.
one does it go in? Because I
know.
don't think there's any sports that go in both, right? It's like a bunch of different stuff. 'Cause you can like swim indoors all year. You can dive all year.
True. You can do that. VGC Kenny writes, should there be an easy Souls-like game to help people comprehend the system, or is the difficulty an inherent part of what makes a Souls-like game a Souls-like?
Yes, there should be.
I would
Okay, so
say
you're saying
yes,
no,
there
the
is.
difficulty is not tied to the genre's definition?
No.
Okay. What do you think, Paul?
I think yes, there is, and it's Elden Ring because of how many different ways you can play it.
That's a fair point.
Because you can kind of do
like-
whatever you want, and you'll get strong enough to just kind of steamroll it at some point.
Like the actual like difficulty is definitely a notorious thing about like most Souls games, or at least the ones that From puts out. But at the end of the day, Souls-like is stamina-based, third-person combat,
Yeah.
usually melee, and with a dodge mechanic, and you're usually fighting giant monsters.
Yeah, so
That's to me is like a boiled-down version of a Souls
I would also
game.
include like corpse runs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
drop your experience or currency when you
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like an easy mode would be what, like maybe you don't use as much stamina or something, so you don't have to like worry about that as much. Or I could see something like that.
Like an intro game to the genre would be good. Like Lineback mentions Another Crab's Treasure. I've heard that one's like actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good
difficulty-wise.
about that. Actually, that's a good one.
I would maybe think about Elden Ring over Another Crab's Treasure just because it is more open.
It's just the openness.
And do just the openness. I mean, Another Crab's Treasure does have some openness, but nowhere near as much as Elden Ring's. I agree. I think the difficulty is not tied to the genre. It's just kind of been like a theme or a recurring part of it.
Yeah,
I think there should be easy Souls-like, just like there should be hard Souls-likes, like whatever.
especially because like it's not a difficulty thing, because once you kind of know how those games operate and get like a feel for them, which Elden Ring is good at easing you in, you can go back and play the other ones and be like, oh, these aren't actually that daunting, because like I kind of understand the way these games play now. That's all it really is.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be. I think it could also be a factor of like some of these games will require more of a time investment to like get comfortable with, and that just might not be like possible for some people. Where it's just like I do not have the time to sit down and like learn like the parry mechanic, so I am not going to get through Sekiro.
Sekiro is the only one that I would say, like, in my own opinion, there's only one hard Souls-like game, and it is Sekiro for the very reason that you're saying, because it's very dependent on you learning and mastering that one mechanic rather than being able to find like a way to kind of ease into the game and play the way you want to play. Because like in the other games, you can put on a giant shield, you can block a bunch of shit, you can get really like dodgy and dodge everything. Like you can cast magic that just does a shitload of damage from afar. Like there's ways to do that. In Sekiro, it's very much like this is how the game plays. Fucking do it. And that's it.
Who's it, John or me, of reading?
Oh, I didn't. I thought that was it. I thought there was one last question. Sorry, it's mine. Phantom Aegis writes in and says, "Ahoy, TDP crew! What's your favorite artificial fruit flavor?"
Oh, strawberry, because I don't like actual strawberries.
Strawberries. I love strawberries, so I would say I like the artificial flavor too.
Okay.
I have this is a bit weird, but I've told this on stream a bunch. I don't know if I have an allergy to it or whatever, but whatever blue dye they use in blue Fruit Loops actively makes me gag.
Oh, weird.
So it was for a long time, I thought the different Fruit Loops had different flavors to match their colors.
Yeah.
Because every time they put blue Fruit Loops in, it made me sick. No, it turns out it's just the dye they use, and apparently I have a specific allergy to that dye color.
Oh, because I would have assumed, yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say cherry, or
Okay.
I could also definitely fuck with lemon.
Oh, lemon is good. That's a good one, yeah. Any citrus artificial flavor is pretty good. I like.
Yeah.
Because I don't like grapefruits, but I'll do an artificial grapefruit flavor.
I like grapefruit. Grapefruit's good. I would say I'm not a huge fan of artificial watermelon, but I do love eating some watermelon.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. The one I don't like artificial banana flavor. I hate that shit, and I don't.
No one likes that because it tastes like medicine.
Yeah, that might be it. Some weird like psychosomatic thing.
Like children's medicine. When was the last time you had banana medicine?
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
just
that's
Definitely
true.
when
ingrained
I was a
in our,
kid, yeah.
because we had to do it as a kid.
We had a lot of cherry medicine though. So, but like
Okay.
I can fuck with cherry, so I'm okay with that. Weirdly.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm not a big this artificial, because I can do both of these totally fine. The fruit, strawberry kiwi.
Oh yeah.
Not a huge fan of that flavor, but I do like strawberries. I do like kiwis.
Oh, I like that artificial flavor actually. Strawberry kiwi. I'm a fan.
Okay. All right. That's going to do it for questions. Thanks everyone for writing in. If you want to write in for next week, updownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. And what is your game of the week?
Time is honey. I just got a hay bale bee.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Adorable.
Man, sorry Kitsune Tails, but Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins is one of the best games ever made.
That's a hard one to
It's one of the
against.
best games ever made.
And I'm going to give it to Ghost Trick Remastered. All right, thanks everyone for listening. I will see you in a few weeks.
Have fun. Be
Have
safe.
a fun trip.
Yeah, watch my socials to see all the Gamescom stuff I'm up to. See you guys later.
Bye.